Hello, this is Sat Sangat Astrology. And in this video, I will talk about the full moon happening July 10th, 2025. We will review the moon cycle that started in Cancer. And we will see what is it that is accomplished or culminate or is illuminated and fully fulfilled with this full moon. Of course, it's always related to the start of the cycle, as I always say. And this Capricorn full moon is happening at 18 degrees 50. The moon is in Capricorn, the sun is in Cancer. So another observation that I can give you regarding this degree is that in January, the new Mars-Sun cycle is starting at 19 degrees of Capricorn. So this full moon in Capricorn may be an antecedent or it may foretold or forecast what is coming for that new 2-year Mars-Sun cycle, which is very important because every time Mars starts a cycle with the sun, there is a different theme. For example, in 2020, I think it was, or 2029, don't remember exactly, but there was the cycle Mars Sun happened in Virgo, for example, which is the sign associated with things that go wrong and we need to fix, especially regarding health and healthcare, etc. And you know, it happened in 2020. Now, next Mars Sun cycle was started in Scorpio, and traditionally it is historically, I would say, because I did the research, it is associated with mass graves, mass killings, and the other little word that we are not allowed to say in YouTube, but starts with a G. Killing a lot of people, especially related to a certain group of people, certain kind of people, be it cultural identity people or a religious identity people of a certain kind. So if you like to review the Mars-Sun cycles, I wrote in my blog, satsangatAstrology.blogspot.com. I have written extensively a historical research that I did regarding at least the latest Mars-Sun cycles. So next one will be in Capricorn, and this is all about the structures of society and how we structure in a way that ensures security, the social system that ensures security. So we will see a lot of that theme in future videos. I will start talking more about it, but I refer you to my blog where you find that article, and it's very explained in detail. So as I said, this full moon is shedding the light on what is coming. So this moon cycle started in Cancer June 25th, of course, 2025, at 4 degrees of Cancer. And you probably have noticed already, of course, what was the theme about for you. If Cancer was your rising sign, if your ascendant is at 4 degrees of Cancer, of course, it was a new beginning for you personally. If Cancer is your 4th house, well, it was a new beginning for your family, your home, your house, where you live, etc., and so on. Depending on which house this new moon falls, there is a new beginning, something new coming up. And if you like to know more about this particular moon cycle, because you have important events that have been developed and you would like to know more, you can order your personal astrology consultation. It's a one-on-one consultation. I do tropical astrology based on the tropics, not on the constellations, meaning that this kind of astrology is based on the change of the seasons, the spring, the summer, the fall, the winter time, right? The solstices and equinoxes. It is this kind of astrology that I practice. I also use a whole sign house system, which means that every sign is one house. So you feel free to email me your personal data. It will be kept confidential, and we can have a one-on-one private consultation. We can use the platform, the video platform that you prefer, and we will contact each other privately that way. We can do FaceTime, we can do WhatsApp, we can do Google Meet, or anyone that you prefer. I am flexible to do it for you. So this new moon, as I said, was started in any house that could have started. It has to do with finding shelter, finding protection, finding nurturance, finding the care that a home can give. Even though it might not be the 4th house, but it has this flavor of feeling protected, like if it were the home. So the Libra waxing square happened July the 2nd, and if you follow on your diary, if you follow the dates, you will notice some developments that happened around July 2nd when the moon was in Libra, and it was probably regarding relationships, something that has to do with finding balance and give and take in a relationship. Also considering that is the axis of Aries and Libra, and having the moon opposing Ceres. And Ceres is the biggest asteroid in our solar system, and it represents the way that we like to be nurtured. So it has a lot to do with a new moon in Cancer, right? Where we look for shelter, for protection, and being nurtured. So at this point, around July 2nd, one day before, 2 or 3 days after, because the moon spends 2.5 days in Libra, you would have noticed something regarding relationships and how you have this this urge or this need to find a homey environment where you can feel nurtured, where you can feel cocooned, right? And you may have had this facing an individual on the other side, right? An interpersonal one-on-one relationship, or some other kind of relationship. It could have been also a relationship with something that you expected to be nurturing for you. Okay, so this is the waxing square. Now we have a few days later, on Thursday, July the 10th, we have the Capricorn full moon. And in this case, this is the axis of father, mother, of home and society, where we are looking for this, as I said, protection. Capricorn traditionally is the patriarch that offers the protection, for example, the government that establishes laws, regulations, and a social structure that ensures our safety in society outside the home. And meanwhile, the sun is illuminating the home, everything that has to do, as I said, with finding the cocoon, the protection, the nurturing. So this is the axis of Cancer and Capricorn. Now, the full moon is illuminating through the light of the sun, right? Because the moon doesn't have her own light, but she is reflecting the sunlight. So here, the sun is projecting over the moon the consciousness, projecting over the unconscious or the psyche, that this sun is looking, as I said, for feeling comfy, and the moon is illuminating society and the structures that ensure that we feel right in society, that we can have our business, our work, that we can go about our public life without being threatened, without running risks. So this is what this full moon is illuminating. Now, the ruler of Capricorn, of course, is Saturn, and Saturn is at 1 degree 55 minutes of Aries, also ruled by Mars in Virgo, but in tight conjunction with Neptune. Now, Neptune has already turned retrograde on Friday, mid-afternoon Central Time, and now Neptune is retrograding to approach Saturn more closely, and between the Saturday the 12th and Tuesday the 15th, so 2 or 3 days, Saturn and Neptune will be in a very tight conjunction, tighter than this. Here they are just 14 minutes apart, but they will be for 3 or 4 days from the 12th on of July. They will be 13 minutes apart. So this could be considered the first conjunction. And by the end of this video, I will touch on what this conjunction means. Now, Saturn in Aries is what is traditionally believed as fallen, because Saturn is exalted in Libra. So Saturn is here not working very properly, because it's kind of a hot from the fire of Aries, from the fire of Mars, and Saturn cannot go fast. Saturn is a planet that is slow, is measured, is has its own limitations. It has the rules and regulations to follow. And Mars wants to go, 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 right? Mars is not a planet that can wait for anything. The sign of Aries is impulsive, the sign of Aries is first they shoot and then they ask, right? And first they start things and then they think how I'm gonna finish this, right? So it's a cardinal sign, so it does quick changes. As I said, it marks the spring season of the year, which is the equinox, right? Either spring or fall. So Saturn here is kind of I wouldn't say debilitated, but it doesn't work as it wants to. Saturn, before acting, reflects about all the regulations and limitations. It has obstacles to overcome. It has the time. It has to find the real timing to do things, right? And the sign of Aries goes, 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 goes. As I said many times, Aries, or a person who has a strong Mars, for example, is propense to start things without thinking how they're going to accomplish or finish or continue, right? It's like the ignition in the car. Yeah, the car gets started, but if after that it doesn't have fuel, it won't go very fast, very, very far, I would say. Okay, so on top of that impairment for Saturn, it also is in conjunction with Neptune in Aries, something that has not happened for millennia. And I would, at the end of the video, as I said, I will go historically and explain how, why I am saying this. Now, this conjunction, it is something very new for us, on top of being in Aries, right, which is new. And it's happening at the beginning of the sign, which indicates beginnings as well. But it's a very new energy for us. We really don't know for sure, but I will, as I said, I will explain the meaning that I found from the historical events that I have researched. Now, ruling this full moon, we have here something that is culminating, but is kind of, how do I say, not very well defined. Saturn, for example, wants to establish, give form, give a structure, give a face, give a substance, and Neptune is wants to dissolve things. And for example, one of the themes of this conjunction means that there are dissolution of boundaries, for example, between cultures, between countries, between regions, and a dissolution of boundaries. There could be also in the environment of war because of Aries, right? And the ruler of Aries is now in Virgo, and Mars in Virgo is very hard worker. But what does it do? Okay, he is trying to fix problems, to repair things that have been broken. And it works in service, in also um, in it could be in healthcare as well, but at the same time, this Mars in Virgo may represent a flare up of some kind of illness. And Virgo illnesses are related to digestion. So, in a nutshell, I would say this full moon may illuminate the structures of society that are deficient, Neptune over Saturn, that are deficient or are disappearing, related to health and the work of healthcare practitioners and providers, for example. So that's one way we can see this because of Mars in Virgo. Now, we also have Mercury in Leo, which is ruling this Virgo sign. And Mercury in Virgo wants to go public and talk about it. So that's what we can now is, for example, I heard in the news that about from a survey, about half of the population in that was surveyed declared that they did not know anything about the new big bill that was just passed and is becoming law. And now this Mercury and Leo may be in charge of bursting out the news, going on the stage and speak about it. If this is about health, for example, or anything that might not be right, because Virgo is a sign that focuses on whatever is not correct. The Virgo has this tendency to fix the wrongs and to find the faults, to find anything that doesn't work properly or the way that it should be according to Virgo, right? And then Mars there is trying to work that and trying to clean the mess and trying to put the arms at work in order to repair. So and then from Mercury in Leo, we come back to this Sun ruling Leo now in Cancer. So as you see, this is what is called the rulership tree that we go through, and it's slowly explaining what a planet, a configuration means or may represent. So, as I said, look at the house occupied by Capricorn. If it is your 10th house, it may be shedding the light on your profession, your career, your public life. If it is your, I don't know, your 8th house, it may be your shared resources, shared energy, things that you need to investigate deeper or it could be about a transformation, right? So I can't tell exactly what can happen to you or what you can choose to do with this full moon, because I need to see your natal chart and how this chart falls on it with aspects, etc. So as I said, if you would like a private consultation, you can always contact me by email. And the email is in the last slide. Now, I looked at the geographical astrocartography for this full moon, and very interesting at the mundane level. As you can see, the sun and the moon, the sun in the IC, illuminating the fourth house, the country, the people, and the moon is in the MC or midheaven, or the reputation, the public reputation of the country. So it is very significant to have a full moon angular just crossing the country, right? And it's crossing over these cities that I can't pronounce, but very close to Tehran, which is the capital. So, and on the other hand, we have Jupiter on the IC for these countries, Turkey, Syria, the western tip of Iraq, and Saudi Arabia. And interesting, Saturn and Neptune conjunction falls on the ascendant of Israel and a little bit of Jordan, so and a little bit of Syria as well. So Saturn, Neptune, as I said, is associated with border problems, which we already see with the war Israel-Palestine. So on the ascendant, it might have something to do with their own existence, right? The ascendant is the house where we come to life, we are born to be. Okay, so I won't make any comments about that, but also something that caught my attention is that the lines of Mars and Uranus, Mars in the midheaven, Uranus on the descendant, cross exactly over Philadelphia and a little bit east of Washington, D.C. So Mars and Uranus in a square, right? Midheaven Mars, it could be declaration of war or a big conflict. In the midheaven, it represents, of course, the public reputation and the projection of the country abroad. And Uranus on the descendant, it could be surprises or sudden changes coming from either partners or from enemies. Okay, so I won't make any other comment on this, but you just interpret as you may like. So now we will talk about this Saturn-Neptune conjunction that is forming right now. First of all, I would like to show you my article on my blog, Sangit Astrology, as you see it here. It's called The Dawn of a New Civilization. And I did historical research on these conjunctions. And so the conjunction is perfected February 20th, 2026 at 0 degrees 45 minutes of Aries. And here is the chart with an overpopulation in Pisces and Aries, as you see. So, and here is the chart for, let's see if I can show you the chart, a bigger one. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, here is bigger chart. On July 13, just a couple of days after the full moon, we have Saturn at 1 degree 56 and Neptune 209, which makes for just 13 degrees apart. And as you see, it is close, let's see, a close sextile to Uranus, recently moved to Gemini. And it's also a very close, Neptune especially, sextile to Pluto, marking the start of the perfection of this configuration, which is called the small grand trine, or the sextile, it's called. Why am I saying this? Is because this conjunction is already at work. And you can see this in the world. You can see how it is operating. Let's go back to the, let me see. Let's go back to this. Okay. So I hope you can see this page. Yeah, very well. So it is already at work, and this conjunction in Aries is very rare, since it only happened 17 times since 6000 BC, before Christ. And in our era, only 4 times in the last 2000 years. So, and here are the dates, but then I will go to explain that there was only one occurrence of this conjunction at 0 the Aries before now. And it happened 3 times between 4362 BC and 4361 BC. So it was a 050, 006, and 001. And this is one of the charts where you can now go back and read about it. At that time, humanity was in the Neolithic period, and it was the end of the Ubaid period. This civilization consisted of Sumerian peoples who settled as sedentary agriculture communities in the Mesopotamia region, and lasted since approximately 6500 BC to 4100 BC. So as you can see, this conjunction happened near the end of this civilization. and marked approximately the start of their decline. So, and why there was a decline as a result of changes in sea level, the shoreline of the Persian Gulf during the Ubaid was different from that of today. At the beginning of the Ubaid, around 6500 BC, the shoreline at Kuwait may have run slightly farther south, and during the subsequent 2,500 years, the shoreline moved farther northward, meaning that the sea had entered on the earth up to the ancient city of Ur around 4000 BC. So it was a time of geographical upheavals. Something happened that the sea grew, entered covered, invaded the land, and that might have been, we don't know, might have been the start of their declination, because this was the place where it was most populated. Now, if you think about Saturn is the land and Neptune is the sea. So this could very well have been the meaning of this conjunction in 4300 BC. So, and here I go on to explain about that civilization and the many things that they had achieved. Among other things, the writing. They have invented writing and other things, and you can read all about it. It is taken from internet sources, and I am talking about what a new civilization means. And it says the process by which a society or place reaches an advanced stage of social and cultural development and organization. A condition of human social organization of a higher order, marked by the development and the use of a written language and by advances in the arts, science, government, and culture and intellectual refinement. So maybe we are at the door, at the gates of a new civilization. Hopefully is more peaceful than what we have. But it implies, for example, a government system, a social structure, a stable food supply network, the use of technology, and a communication system, right? And here I go over the significations that I found on all the other events when Saturn and Neptune conjuncted in Aries, right? I know that Chris Brennan, for example, investigated all the Saturn-Neptune conjunctions of history, but he focused on any sign. So here I'm just focusing on Aries, and this is what I found in my research. So based on previously mentioned historical events, their conjunction means a redefinition of boundaries. Above, it was stated that the Persian Gulf moved its boundaries north, and the peoples had to move north as well. There are no exact dates or facts about this because everything is archaeological research, but maybe it was the time of a great deluge. Who knows, right? However, the shift of boundaries starts with border conflicts as well, human or natural disputes of territory or geographic confusion. during a transitional period before the new boundaries are defined. For example, it's other things that are in the conversations are, for example, there could be a tsunami that brings water over land. There could be a big earthquake that changes the shape of certain geographies. There could be wars, and for example, there could be problems between neighbors, either countries or states in one country, right? States that might want to succeed or secede, sorry. And so all kinds of boundary problems, not only natural from water invading the land, although that could be a possibility, a geographic catastrophe or a natural thing. But it's mainly Neptune is destroying structures. For example, I was looking at the news today for the floods in Texas, and it's incredible how the growth of this Guadalupe River has raised over any structures, be it wooden structures, but also concrete and brick structures. Brick and mortar structures were swept away by the water. So this is exactly what Saturn and Neptune archetypally signify. So this is the kind of things that can happen. And there is also other significations that I list here. You can read them on your own, visiting my blog, satangatAstrology.blogspot.com. So now I will go back to the presentation. Just a second. Something else that I want to talk about is the Neptune retrograde, because it just started on the 4th of July, mid-afternoon, Central Time, and it stopped stationary retrograde at 2 degrees 11 minutes. And well, Neptune is retrograde 5 months out of a year, and it represents how to hide our vulnerabilities, right? And in the Aries, it could be hiding the vulnerabilities in the war, for example. And or it could be also trying to hide our vulnerabilities of identity. Many people who are afraid of being persecuted may hide their identity in order not to fall vulnerable. So there are also spiritual inclinations, and in this case there could be mistrust on the spiritual path. There could be doubts of spiritual life. There might be a reluctance to believe something, your religion, or even believe your imagination, right? Sometimes people are very intuitive, but they doubt about it, about their intuition or the hunches, So also It could be a period for artists, for example. It could be a period of reviewing their production, your the artistic expressions, and some people may keep their fantasy private. And for example, if people like to, the sign of Aries is very impulsive, is also very sexual, very aggressive. People may hide that those aspects in the house where Neptune is turning retrograde. So there could also be mistrust of people of certain identities, and afraid of being deceived, or afraid of falling victim. So other things are fearful dreams, especially dreaming of war and conflicts, and fear of going into the spiritual realm. So Saturn will be retrograde as well. I think is, let's see the exact date. I have it here. Saturn will go retrograde 2 days after the full moon, on the 12th of July at 1 degree 56 minutes. So exactly when there is this conjunction I told you about, 13 minutes apart, or 13 minutes orb. So Saturn going backwards is like looking back to the previous house, for example, but also looking back at the past in general, and specifically to the period that Saturn transited this little piece of Aries, and going back to Pisces. Both of them will be back to Pisces. I think Neptune will get to 27 and something, and Saturn will even go farther backwards to 24 degrees 50 minutes, where Saturn will station and conjunct the exact degree of the eclipse that happened last year in September, September 17, 2024. And this is very, very, very important. Every time one of these malefics, like Mars and Saturn, joins the degree of an eclipse that is still alive, right? It's very, very well alive, this eclipse. Something very crucial happens. It has to do with, for example, restrictions at a global level, could be restrictions in the oceans, for example, in Pisces. There could also be obstacles to travel by water. Also obstacles to trade, attacks on ships and such. It also may mean uncovering secrets in the ocean, right? There are many people who look for lost treasures in the ocean, and during the transit of Saturn over Pisces and with Neptune, there were discoveries underwater. So I think for now that's enough. We will continue in other videos talking about this conjunction, because it will be perfect in February next year. Meanwhile, I wish you a very good full moon, and watch for the closing of the cycle before we have a new moon in Leo, which will be very interesting because it will be opposing Pluto. So I wish you the best, and make sure that you order your personal astrological consultation, writing to my email here on the screen. Here you have it. It's PUKAVYPORA at gmail.com. And this is a word from the Guarani language, from the Guarani people in South America. So if you order your consultation, I can tell you the meaning. So see you next time, and thank you so much for visiting my channel. Please subscribe and give it a like and share it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you